Alright folks, welcome to another league with Mono Green AmuLIT. Second league of the day. Probably gonna be the last league of the day too, but this has been pretty good. I've been enjoying it a lot. Probably if I were to play AmuLIT in an event, I would play something similar to this. Natty Bog. This hand just doesn't do it though, too slow. This hand is significantly better by so much, it's not even funny. That's cool though. I think we're gonna bottom the Redundant Summoner's Pact. Whose list am I playing? I guess this is based off your Mono Green Titan list though. It's my list. I built this list. My opponent, they play Gems and cover Exiling Karn, so we're playing against Mono Red Prison. Wow. Am I doing model lens testing? You know what? That's actually kind of a great idea. Alright, so my opponent has one turn to play a Blood Moon. They have one turn to play a Blood Moon or they are dead. So they get to dig for it. We still have outs to the Blood Moon. In fact, we kind of have our out in our hand right now. Something like a Zern Bridge would be annoying, but very far from unbeatable. But Blood Moon would be problematic. Opina de jugar 3 Explore para jugar la segunda de Susa. Muy posible. Sí, muy posible. Me gusta inclusive. Just don't slow roll me, opponent. Just play your Blood Moon so we can move on with our game here. Or if you don't have it, just back it up. Just back it up. Uh-oh. Well, this is probably good for me, actually. Anything that they're going to ritual in, I don't really care too much about. So this is actually great for us, which is funny. Oh man, Magnus, 10 tier 1 gifted subs? That is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this the support, my friend. What do we got there? Who was the lucky one? Andreas Rosen, Turtle Power MTG, Ram 21, Hateplex, Mackenzie, Silent Steps, The Coast Region, Corn Chips, Just Manowar, Punt Master Balls. All of you, thank you so much, and welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. It's time for this though. Let's do that thing we do, shall we? So we're definitely hasting here, and then we're attacking Karn. So, we definitely want to get a basic forest. And my opponent just backs it in. Alright, let's go. Been watching you on YouTube for a long time. Feel like it's time to pay back all that entertainment. Thank you so much, Magnus. Really appreciate it. Alright, we're playing against a deck that is non-existent in Mono Red Prison. I'm gonna bring in a couple of these members, because like my opponent's playing Prison, right? So they're totally playing Magus over there. They're totally playing Magus over there, so they might even be playing the little guys. What's the name? The goblins. I don't think they're running Pillage. They might be running Pillage and I'm gonna get owned by... I think that they're not running Pillage. Dryad. Oh, we have to watch out for Boil, that's for sure. Sweet, sweet hand. Sweet hand. So what are we bottoming here? Probably bottom the Summoner's Pact, because this is an answer to a moon. Oh, I just realized that my opponent has the same, they have the same avatar as Fluffy does, so maybe they are... This scrambled, good boy, that's hilarious. Maybe they follow Fluffy. If you don't know who Fluffy is, another fellow streamer, great dude. And for whatever reason, he just loves Mono Red Prison, which baffles me to no end. He does love his Mono Red Prison. Another basic. Not heinous. Would definitely love to see a bounce land. Chalice for 1. Completely irrelevant, so looking good here. Let's play this. Things looking good so far. Don't care too much about that. If they have land into Boil, we do get kind of owned here, but I think that's a fine risk. Okay, no Boil is good. No, I don't think they have. If they're playing Blood Moon, like Ghost Squatter is kind of a pretty bad numbo with it, so I would assume that they're not playing that. Man, this is one of the situations where I really, really wish that Primal Command were an instant. Can you imagine if we could like do this on their draw step or like on their end step, just get back their Blood Moon? That would be so sick. Not the case, unfortunately. We're probably gonna do that though, because it basically scripts their next turn. It basically means that they have to put the Blood Moon on top. They have to spend their next turn casting the Blood Moon. They're tanking though, so I guess they could have land into Boil as their last couple of cards, which honestly would be kind of brutal. Gonna get prime time though. Maybe I should have. Also, Moon is a numbo with Boil. Chalice for 0. Okay, so that's why they were tanking so much. So we're just gonna beat them down. Holding on to this turn Timber because of we can just cast it. Sometimes the Maw. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Sometimes the Maw just gets there. It is Maw o'clock. It is Maw o'clock. I could transmute here. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna. They have chalices though, right? So we're probably gonna have to wait on this. Yeah, so right now all of these are mountains because the Dryad was already in play and then my opponent played the Blood Moon. All of these are just mountains while these are all of the types because Blood Moon doesn't affect it doesn't affect basics. So the basics still have Dryad's ability, but these ones do not. If when the Blood Moon is in play and then you play the Dryad afterwards, then the Dryad, basically the last one to come into play is the one that is in effect. That's the easy way to understand it. But the basics thing, it's something that people might not think about. But yeah, that's definitely very, very important for every single Dryad deck, mostly because, well, Dryad decks, people will be playing Blood Moon against Dryad decks, so. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, if you don't, I honestly didn't know about the basics thing until it came up. But once it came up, I'm like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, right? This hand's pretty solid. But almost to 5. So this is a turn 3 Titan, but without a Dryad because Stacy's great. But almost to 5. Darkslick Shores. So probably Ad Nauseam. Oh no, this is actually, ooh, yeah, this is great. We get to Dryad here and then we get to Titan on 3. This is great. We have to make sure that we play this here though. I made that mistake the other day, felt like an idiot. But Stacy cannot put the double face lands into play. It can only put like actual lands into play. Two cards on the bottom, exile Lotus Bloom. 1, 2, 3. This prime time. So we got a couple of options here. If I get double Valakut, that would be 12 damage. If I get Valakut plus Bounce Land, that is also 12 damage. But this lets me attack with the Stacy, so it's 1 more point of damage. I guess it doesn't matter too much. My opponent has 1 turn to not die. Shield. And we can wait on their upkeep next turn. There would be combination of cards that I would lose to there. So they would need like White Source into Angel's Grace into into Oracle plus the other thing. So there were a combination of cards that I would lose to there, but probably not very likely. Explosives is also a weird one here. I think I want the 1 copy to transmute for. Explorer is kind of awkward in this matchup. Stacy also can't put in the backside of pathways. That's also true. Yep, 100%. Okay. So we kind of really want to find a bounce land. That's terrible. We really want to find a bounce land here. AmuLIT has a better matchup against combo decks than Reclaimer, correct? AmuLIT is just faster, but Reclaimer is more consistent and it can be more disruptive if you build your deck for that. So because of the whole Eladarm Skull toolbox, you get access to a bunch of sideboard options like Eidolon of Rhetoric and like Collector Oof. So if you have a specific matchup that you want to tackle, you can actually do that. Hoggers. Man, not being able to have found the bounce land is kind of brutal. But we're gonna have to blow that up eventually anyway, so. Again, there's still a combination of cards that I lose to here, but can't play around everything. Kind of awkward. Any land gets me there, but if there's no land, there's not too much I can do about it. 33 lands in my deck right now. Oh, the value Ad Nauseam on end step. I love it. I love this play. This is one of my favorite things about Ad Nauseam, when they like value Ad Nauseam on your end step. Yeah. It's pretty hot. Ad Nauseam as intended, says my opponent. I mean, honestly, it's kind of busted. Like, my opponent is just casually drawing like a shit ton of cards here. But they probably can't draw anymore. I mean, they have lethal if they have one of the 1-mana thingies in hand or another Ad Nauseam. So I think we're probably dead here. They have a shit ton of Angel's Graces too. Okay. This we actually can beat. So I guess they don't have it. They went bottom top though, so I have to imagine that we're gonna be dead next turn. So if we find the land, we do have a shot here though, because we're forcing my opponent to use one of their Angel's Graces, and then we're also using them to basically go down a land. So we failed to find land though, so sad face. So Dark Slick Shores, Painted Prism, City of Brass, City of Brass. It really is unfortunate. Oh wow, my opponent is super punted here. That is a massive punt, and we cannot punish them. Like, my opponent really need to Angel's Grace there, because now they went below 1. So now if I have a Titan, I can just Valakut them for lethal. And then when they untap, they're just going to lose to state-based effects. So they can't respond to that. But we can't punish them, because I am the unluckiest man on earth. They also have 6th. Brutal. I'm dead now. Florahedron, yeah, Florahedron would have won. Florahedron or the Mammoth would have won. Now we just lose to the Thassa's Oracle. We do get to check out their deck though, which is nice. So they brought in Thoughtseizes and nothing else. Lightning Storm's still in the deck. Wow, any land, literally any land in my deck would have punished them. I had like 28 draws that would have won me the game immediately. Sag. I guess even Engineered Explosives would have won me the game too. Okay. This hand is fun. I don't know if this hand is going to be enough to win, but this hand is fun, so I'm going to keep it. Where is Sorrow or one of Glasspool Mimic? That would be kind of sick actually. That would have been an insane. Just Glasspool Mimic, copy my Sage. Getcha. Okay. So we get primal command here. I don't think my opponent is going to pack this Azusa, so I'm safely going to do that. Turntaber also pitches to force, which is kind of amazing. So we're going to get to Azusa here. Then next turn we get to primal commander, land on top of their deck, and find the Titan. Weird sequencing there. I guess I can still Titan next turn, so I'm gonna do this here. But this is better if I find AmuLIT, because if I find AmuLIT, I can actually just primal command next turn and also cast the Titan. Painted Prism. Painted Prism. Let's get this mess with their white swords. This gives them a Scribe, but this center stabbed 100%, so they can back this and then use what's his name on upkeep. No red sources, so we're not gonna be able to haste this Titan. So we can still die here, kind of. We don't die to unlife, but we do die to the white instant speed thing. They put one card on top, which makes me very sad. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So 6 mana. We have blue floating. I mean, there's nothing I want to transmit for this turn though. So what am I gonna do? Let's play my turn. I definitely want to go squatter them because they kept a card on top. But what am I gonna be doing afterwards? How do I set up lethal for next turn is my question. Can't haste here. How do I set up lethal? So I'm just gonna get Tulare West plus bounce land here. I guess we can do that next turn on the attack trigger. My opponent is rushing me. It's just like, dude, take it easy. Chillax a little bit. Sequencing actually matters a lot. So many options. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna make some zombies. So Field of the Dead plus Valakut. So now we're gonna have to transmit for Dryad next turn. So we swing for 10 here, down to 8. And then we can make a bunch of land drops. Actually, we can't make a bunch of land drops. I mean, we can make the land drops, so we don't really get too much from them. So we can transmute. But nothing really matters to me. Explosives on 3 is the only thing that matters, but it also doesn't. Because my opponent kept a card on top, so there's the possibility that I'm going to be just dead at Joshua. So I'm playing around being actually just dead. That's what's going on there. Okay, this probably means that we can't lose here. I mean, I guess technically there are some sequences of plays to kill me here. Pathway. Powers. So they do the thing. We have a million land drops, so this doesn't matter. So my opponent's gonna be forced to do something here. So what I get here is fetch land plus plus any bounce land. Because fetch land allows me to kill my opponent on their upkeep. So they're gonna Angel's Grace here. Set stop on their upkeep. I could make a bunch of zombies, but it literally doesn't matter. All right. I did my best, chat. I did my best. I did my best, but it seems like we might have gotten got here. Yep. Brutal. I don't know how making zombies helps us not die. It forces my opponent to to waste Angel's Graces, but like it just was so that my opponent just had the double Aegis Race. Yeah, it's possible that that was not played in the best possible way. Maybe I had a better line. So they have to go for the Lightning Storm kill. Oh no, they don't. They can just... They go for the Lightning Storm kill. Alright, so we have one out. For my opponent to not have enough lands in their deck. I think it would have been safer for my opponent to just go for... Oh, I guess they played the land for turn, so maybe it just doesn't work. So basically what you have to do is you have to wait for your opponent to discard all of their cards, all of the lands. Because they need to set up lethal. And then after all of the triggers have resolved for Lightning Storm, you activate the ability and you redirect them to their face. They don't metamorphose, they have Pented Prison. Target my zombie. If they have another land, this doesn't work, but we're forcing them to have another land, basically. Alright, GG's. Yeah, but they could have 2 Prism. KBRD Smash. If they have 2 Prisms and like 2 monkeys, they can play 2 Prisms for 1. Or they just have blue. Yeah, I guess that zombies maybe didn't matter there. So if I had gone for... Because we transmute on the next turn, we play Dryad and we attack and we just set up lethal. And that forces the Angel's Grace 1 turn earlier, I guess. Because we just don't have the lands in hand to trigger, which was the issue. We can't really play around my... I guess yeah, I guess what we should have done is we get the Total West in hand, because we want to play around Thoughtseize, which we did see in game 2. So we don't want to transmute right away. We want to wait and transmute on the turn that we're going to pact for the Dryad. Yeah, we're going to keep this. Pretty neat little hand. Susa guarantees the turn 4 Titan. And we get to protect our 10 Timber from discard spells. Oh, that's right. They exiled all the monkeys to the thingy. So yeah, I'm just not correct. Opponent goes turn 1 Snow Covered Mountain. Maybe they're playing Scred, I don't know. What's up, Yams? How's it going? Alright. Am I getting mooned here? I am getting mooned. Dryad. Turn Timber. Scred did win a GP. Never forget. Never forget that Scred did win a GP. Are we really getting paired twice against Mono Red Prison in 2020? Like, is that really something that's going on right now? Are we just getting paired against Prison twice? Is that really what's going on here? We're getting paired against Prison twice. What the hell is going on? Try it, please. I guess that one also counts. So attack the Karn, play my land, play the Maw. It's Maw clock. It is Maw clock. My opponent can bridge me here, which is kind of annoying. But it costs them their Karn. It is what they're going to do. Makes sense. Their Karn is dying otherwise, so... So what are we looking for? Our Primal Command? If we find Primal Command, we are in prime shape. See what I did there, chat? You see what I did there? Okay, we're gonna cast this. And whiff. And there's our Primal Command. Which is now in the bottom of our deck, which makes us very sad. How did we get paired against Prison twice in the same league? This is just not reasonable. We don't have EE. Cough of the Hammer! Fuck yeah. Cough of the Hammer. You wanna attack? I'll block you. Can I block, please? Turn Timber. Shuffle my deck. Don't mind if I do. Attack your dude. So now we shuffled, so the command is... Well, we don't know for certain that it's literally in the bottom of our deck, so that's good. Baby steps. Anger of the Gods to kill my S's. That's kind of hot, actually. If my opponent attacks, I think I... Oh, I was gonna say I think I block, but they didn't want to attack. Alright, we're gonna die to Koth Emblem. It's been so long since I died to a Koth Emblem. It's been so long. Okay, Rex Sage, Force, Couple of these, one of these. Bog out, one packed out. No, I don't want to cut too many lands. We could maybe cut one more. I think I would probably maybe cut Radiant Fountain before Ghost Quarter. GQ is fine to find the forest. It's not ideal, right? Like going down a land is not something you're excited about. It's something that you'll take. So saying that it's fine, it's probably a little bit of a generous statement, but this hand's pretty solid against Blood Moon. It's not very good against Boil. You gotta choose. You gotta choose what you're gonna be beating. Put almost 5. Twice playing against Mono Red Prison in the same league. This is my life now. Register AmuLIT, get paired against Mill 4 times in 3 leagues. Play another league, get paired against Mono Red Prison of all things. My body is ready for like Blood Moon into Boil. I'm smelling it, you know? It's coming. Blood Moon into Boil. This is what's gonna happen here. You're just trying to balance my unfair AmuLIT skill. To be fair, I have not been playing particularly well lately. Boil. Karn. Okay, so this is best case scenario here. This is just awesome for us. We also get to play Explosives on 3, and Explosives on 3 plays around both Blood Moon and it plays around Boil. And my opponent even minused for no value whatsoever. Yeah, this is far and away the best thing that it could have happened. So blue, black, red. Play my land, tapped, kill Karn, always yes, always yield, attack you for 3. Yeah, Explosives on 3 is just the nuts here. It plays around literally everything. So now we can't get boiled, we can't get... Yeah, this literally could not matter any less than it does. Okay, yeah. And I could I could turn timber, but if I whiff, it opens me up to die into a boil. So there's literally no reason for me to not just like develop my board. Now we start making zombies. We have any planeswalker already covered. I don't think a braid even punishes me. And what are they gonna do? Like play another card? Sure, whatever. It just doesn't do actual anything. They can't even plus on the explosives. Like I guess they could, but so welding jar. That's cute. That's cute, but it kind of it's a little bit of wishful thinking. Why not play in turn timber? Because I play turn timber, I whiff. Now I can't trigger Valakut anymore. Now I don't get to trigger Valakut anymore. I don't get to trigger Field anymore because I have to actually not bounce my bounce land in order to turn timber there. And if I whiff, my opponent taps, they boil me. Like we were so far ahead to a point where usually you have to. When you are that far ahead, what you have to figure out is you have to figure out what are the like nightmare scenarios that would make it so that you can potentially win an otherwise unlosable game. That you can probably lose an otherwise unlosable game. And casting turn timber and whiffing, yeah, last turn, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm still talking about last turn. And that would be a way that I can potentially lose an otherwise unlosable game. In fact, even more so on the last turn than on the previous turn instead of the last turn, right? Oh wow, we're gonna get chaliced. Oh, we're gonna get mooned on one. All right, fuck me, I guess. Feels bad, man. Can I ask your thoughts on Titan? List as SketchUp. I'm pretty far off the 12k channel points. Sure, Simon. I mean, it's a little bit unfair though, right? It's a little bit unfair for people that want to, like, you know, actually use the channel points. I know you're putting me in a tough spot. Like, there's a reason why we got the channel points option going. Yeah, sure, that definitely works, Simon. But yeah, for sure. Do you know how to do that? There we go. Do anything for $5? Yeah. And I'm saying anything. I'm gonna play one of these, but not the other one. Because I want to be able to transmute if I have to. I mean, the good thing is that as soon as we find our basic or a Force of Vigor, we actually just go from losing to winning, right? Because we can just pact for a Rex Sage, transmute for the second Summoner's Pact. Easy. All right, so this actually is the win here, I think. So Reclamation Sage. So we're gonna explore first to see what we find. Nothing of importance, which sucks. But we have exactly enough mana to go get a Titan. So we bounce here, we fetch for forest. Oh, did I miscount? I thought I had one more land. Oh, I played the forest for the turn. I'm stupid. All right, never mind. So that was just a mistake. Never mind, never mind. Thank you so much for the donation, Simon. Let me check out that link right over there. We're gonna get mooned again. Okay, but at least we don't die. That's unfortunate that we found the answer and then my opponent immediately found another blood moon. I guess they found the land they were missing for the other blood moon. They probably had the moon hanging out in there for a while. Torpor orb, sure. Doesn't matter too much. Man, I sure wish I had been able to transmute on that one turn. But obviously it was more important to make sure that we can... I thought that we had one more land drop. Honestly, I fucked it up. Maybe, honestly, what I should have done is I should have played the basic forest and then just passed. So on the following turn, we could do like a bunch of things. I would have been able to like play a land, bounce, like do like play the Rex Sage and then do all of our nonsense all together. Maybe that was a mistake on my part. With breeding pool abilities. Yeah, definitely an important thing there. I still would have fetched for a basic forest there, but what breeding pool would have done is it would allowed my fetch land to tap for 2 mana. So I think that I still wanted to fetch for a basic forest there, because otherwise I would have died to what my opponent did actually have, which was another blood moon. But take off the hat for $5. Like the opposite of this spike thing. Instead of putting on a hat, I have to take out the hat. Take off the hat. If you wait a turn, though, they still go land second blood moon though. Yeah. I guess it's even worse because they would have been able to torpor, and at that point, like the Summoner's Pact just doesn't do anything. Yeah, I guess it's not that straightforward. Yeah, I was gonna get 2 basics with Titan attack, but I wouldn't have been able to like transmute and cast the Titan. I was gonna be 1 mana short. Hey Biffus Magnificus, how's it going? Also, my opponent exiled another monkey in order to cast this moon last turn, so maybe they don't cast the moon. Yeah, force just wins, right? Because I just force main phase, blow up both things, and then just Titan wins. All right. Ooh, all right, sweet. So we're gonna play Dryad. We're gonna transmute. And we have 2 options here. We can. I think I'm gonna transmute for another pact. We could transmute for explosives and play explosives for 3, but I think that transmuting for another Summoner's Pact is just better. Because I am too. If I go for the explosives line, I have to blow up the moon, and at that point, I'm also blowing up my Valakut. So like, what am I really achieving at that point? So I'd rather have them all. How big of a nation are you to put spaghetti on your head like hair and spend a whole week acting like it's normal hair, and the chat is crazy for saying otherwise? Spaghetti with salsa? It's just gonna be really tough for the spaghetti to just like stay here though, right? But I would do it for like $100 or something, like maybe 200. Maybe 200 sounds more reasonable. Oh, I am 100% thinking about it. It's just a matter of how do we get the spaghetti to like stay on my head, you know? That's the challenging part. We're gonna get boiled here, and I'm gonna get to dismember my own dryad. Karn. Karn for coding. We have to remember that there's a Torpor in play, right? Can we draw Force of Vigor? Oh, I didn't say fast enough. Damn it. Punt. So we have the Dryad. My opponent can't Blood Moon and coding me on the same turn, so I think it's probably gonna be fine for me to do this. What happens if I meet my sub goal? I don't know. I have to figure out. I'm probably gonna make like some form of special stream. I have to figure out what that special stream is gonna be. Titan's ability triggers when attacks, even through Torpor. Yeah, exactly. This only stops ETB triggers. It doesn't stop attack triggers. Or any other trigger for that matter. I guess if they have Flame Slash, we're fucked, but they don't. Force of Vigor. Explore. Attack Karn for value? Hell yeah, of course. I would like to go face, please. Face, you say? Yes, face. I would like to go face. Good, got him. Have you ever gotten paired against Mono Red Prison twice in the same league, and those are actually your two your two wins? Have you ever gotten paired against Mono Red Prison with AmuLIT twice in the same league? And that's the reason you are 2-1, because you got paired against Mono Red Prison twice. That's just justice. How big of a donut to actually try and rig up electric drums to your PC so they can control MTGO? I mean, somebody would need to teach me how to do that, Stabs. I have no idea how to make that happen. Oh yeah, actually let's cancel here and let's go over the, okay, is this reasonable? All right, Simon, let's check this list out. Let's see what we got. So, Reclaimer, already love this. Dryad, 1 Golos, 4 Primetime, 1 Emrakul. 4 Nahiri, 1 Bolt, 4 Wildfire, 4 Explore. Interesting. Blast Zone, Cascading Cataracts, Flagstones. All right, initial thoughts. Number 1, Nahiri is actually kind of smart. Because it answers a lot of the problematic things that the Titan decks have in the format. So Nahiri is an answer to Blood Moon. It's an answer to like Death Shadows, stuff like that. So definitely a cool idea to begin with. So I like that. Number 2, Reclaimer Flagstones in this shell makes sense with Wildfire. What doesn't really make sense is the amount of basic mountains that you have. I would definitely prioritize playing more forests and or plains before you even go down this route. Particularly in decks like this, it is extremely important that you have access to at least 2 basic plains. Because Celestial Purge is bar none the best cyber card that any AmuLIT deck can find. So you want to make sure that you basically never ever struggle to cast your Celestial Purges. So you probably want to make sure that you have access to that. Golos is cute. It seems like it's probably not going to be worth it. The big issue with Golos is that playing Cascading Cataracts, it's actually a huge cost in this kind of deck because you are already a deck that is interested in playing so many like impactful and powerful lands, just kind of by design, right? So I understand that your base green red instead of being base green white, but I think that you are leaving an interesting. You're leaving some stuff on the table by doing that, right? So I still think that you probably want to go a little bit higher on the white source instead of the red sources. So I would definitely cut Golos. I would definitely cut the Cataracts. Maybe you can make room for plains there. I think that you have too many basic mountains. Probably like the 1 is it's enough, and you can play a fetch land instead, or probably another basic forest. Yeah, you definitely have 2 little basic forests. Just like 2 is not enough. I would play another basic forest. Definitely gonna play another basic plains. What else? You probably want more fetch lands. Fetch lands are actually. I understand that you're trying to like be base green red and then like splashing white, but that's just not easy to achieve. Like that's the reason why we're not playing basically any colors. We're not splashing any colors in any of my green white lists. The reason for that is that by design, your mana base is stretched towards white sources. So it's a lot easier to splash white than it is to splash red. So if you want to play something red, which is kind of like similar to what we're doing here, particularly something that you want to be casting on turn 2, like Wildfires, right? So if you look at this list, I actually had to stretch and go all the way up to 8 fetch lands in order to make sure that I have more access to red sources. You also want to make sure that you have at least 4 or 5 lands that you can get off of Flagstones. Right here you have 1, 2. That's not correct. Where's your Sacred Foundry? You don't have a Sacred Foundry. You need to have a Sacred Foundry. Yeah, you need at least 4 planes in your deck, so. I actually started with Cataracts and 5th way to run because then Golos seems free. Yeah, I think you're just getting too cute. And it's literally not worth it. Like, I think you're making your deck worse by doing that. You'd much rather play. What would I play here? Probably more removal. Maybe like another Bold or something like that. I think removal could be better. Or you could play, instead of Golos, you could play something like Skyclave Apparition or something like a Ramming Up Excavator. I definitely think that you want Ramming Up Excavator. In this kind of list, Tracker has been very, very bad. Basically just doesn't do anything. So I don't like it. So I don't recommend you playing Trackers in the sideboard. You're definitely losing a lot by not playing Eladamri's Call. Like, Eladamri's Call is like a big part of the engine, and a big reason why the deck is good. It's because you have access to like a bunch of Titans, you have access to a bunch of Dryads. Like, you're definitely making that a lot less consistent by playing Nahiri instead. Like, Nahiri is obviously very powerful, and it allows you to like churn through your deck. But I don't think it's necessarily better than Call. So you are indeed just, in a way, you are making your deck worse by playing Nahiri, particularly because you can't really protect the Nahiri effectively unless you're playing it in the late game once you already have field going. Your mana base definitely needs work. Again, so more fetch lands, more planes, like at least 2 more planes at the bare minimum. You don't need that many basic mountains. With 1, you're just fine, particularly if you're adding fetch lands. Cut the Cataracts. Maybe you're gonna have to cut one of these. And then as far as the sideboard, I think that Purge is just too good not to play more. Like, you probably want more copies of Celestial Purge. And Ramming Up is definitely good. Madcap is interesting. I hadn't really thought about Madcap in the context of this deck. Like, it makes sense when you're making, when you have more red sources. Just bring more. Yeah, this actually doesn't look bad, if I'm being honest. It doesn't necessarily look bad. It's mostly a matter of, there are a couple of things that kind of, by design, I don't think I would be doing. But yeah, I don't think you're crazy. This is definitely an interesting approach. Nahiri, it really is a powerful card for sure. But yeah, I recommend you check out like something like this mana base to have an idea. And even this mana base sometimes struggle to cast Rain on turn 2. It was like consistent enough, right? It was consistent enough with the red sources. But there's a reason why decks like this don't tend to have any splashes, and that's because Flagstones just steers you so, it just pushes you towards a white so harshly. And you know, that's been my issue with every single Jeskai Aspiring Spike list, is the fact that he's always like tending to like splash the white. Like, the white is not really that important in those lists, and then you want to cast like your cryptic commands and stuff, and you just can't, you know. So, but yeah, Simon, that's an interesting idea. I hadn't really considered Nahiri in a while. Like, honestly, I kind of forgot that Nahiri was I kind of forgot that Nahiri was actually a card that people used to play. I actually played a fair amount with Nahiri back when I was a Kiki Chord player. For a while there, I was Kiki Chord guy. Back when Jeff Hoogland was the Kiki Chord guy as well. So any bounce land gives me Titan mana. Yeah, okay. How much to brew a Scryfall deck? Probably I would do it for like 25 bucks. Usually I do donos for 15, but if I have to do the Bruin, then I probably like that's just so much more like time demanding, basically. So with for Nahiri or less reliant on cyber purchase. Yes and no, Simon, because Nahiri doesn't answer Ashiok. which is a big deal. My opponent moved to 4, so maybe they're playing Tron. Oh, just that's so much worse. Don't you love it when your opponent moves to 4 and you just die on turn 2? Don't you fucking love it, chat? Bog off the top, 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 bog off the top. Fuck me, man. Fuck me. Opponent moves to 4, I die on turn 2. Don't you fucking love it, chat? Don't you fucking love it? Turn 1 AmuLIT. Yeah, this doesn't do it. Opponent kept 7. Okay, so I think that at this point I have to go for the turn 2 myself. So I'm going to, if I draw a bounce land, we can tighten on turn 2. So that's my line. I feel like that's the only way that I can win this game. So gonna go for the higher upside line. All right, bounce land off the top. Justice, justice. That's not justice. At least we can get turn 2'd. Unless my opponent has triple monkey. Bounce land, please, please, bounce land, please, bounce land, please, 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 give me a bounce land. I need a bounce land. You have no idea how sad I am right now, chat. You have no idea how sad I am right now. You have no idea how sad I am right now. Could have drawn Relic, we could have drawn so many things, and now we just died instead. Skill game from my opponent. Skill game! Skill game. Mono Red Prison one more time. Yeah, let's salvage this league. Let's get paired against Mono Red Prison one more time so we can finish with a 3-2. Why console against the sideboard and against which matchups? Against Mill mostly, and then it is kind of like a little thought experiment that I'm having against Heliod combo. basically it gives you an out to their infinite life combo, because you can cast Kozilek and you can like attack them a bunch, right? You attack them a bunch and then you clear their board, you leave them with no lands, and then you kill your own Kozilek thanks to Valakut plus Dryad, and then you just don't deck. Yeah, this hand is just missing a little bit too many pieces. If either one of all of these were an amulet, I would keep this hand, but as is, this hand basically just doesn't, it's just missing too many pieces. Like, it's missing lands to get to Titan, and it's missing like an amulet or something like that, so I'm gonna ship it. This hand is just terrible. Down to 5. And because I'm keeping this, it's bad, but it has this low path to Titan. So we're gonna bottom turn Timber, so my opponent can Thoughtseize my land, and then basic Forest. Kosi over Gaia's Blessing. Yeah, because of the scenario that I just described. So the scenario that I just described against Heliod cannot be achieved with Gaia's Blessing, because, well, we can't annihilate our opponent, right? Alright, so we're playing against Ponza. Ponza significantly better. By so much. Significantly better than Mono Red Prison. By so much is not funny. That's a good question, Simon. I kind of didn't talk about it because I think that Radiant Fountain allows me to get if I get paired against aggro, which I think there's more aggro decks and Field of Ruin decks than there are Blood Moon decks. So if I get paired against either one of those decks, I'd rather for the basic to be in my deck as opposed to in my hand. So that's the reason for that, and also Radiant Fountain allows me to buy time if I do indeed get paired against an aggro deck. So I mean, I'm on the blind, right? Obviously, I would have played differently if I had known that my opponent's playing one of the very few Blood Moon decks in the format. They have Wormcoil Engine? Oh, holy crap, my opponent's playing bullshit Ponza, but it just doesn't matter because they had turn 2 Moon, so nothing they do matters when they have turn 2 Moon. Literally nothing matters. Pretty rough pairings this league. Pretty rough pairings. But honestly, I'm at a point where I'm not sure whether I'd rather play against Ponza or the Heliod deck. Like, I actually think that the Heliod deck is a really bad matchup for us. Yeah, I gotta practice getting paired against decks that I can beat more reliably, you know? So this hand just doesn't beat anything, right? This hand also doesn't beat anything. I also need to get better at drawing like better hands, you know? Okay. This hand kind of fucks. Okay, so we're keeping this and this and this and this and these. We're definitely bottoming the Grazer. Oh man, if this were a 6-card hand, it would be so much better. I guess I'm gonna bottom this member. Feels like drawing a card is gonna be kind of important here. And we would have gotten super punish in my but oh. Let's go, baby. What's the reason to be behind Primal Command? Primal Command answers cards that I have that I otherwise really struggle to beat. Damn it. Well, have to do this again. Seems like a little bit of a waste, but unfortunately, like, I can draw like an Azusa or a Dryad here, and that's one of the ways that I win this game actually. So why is my opponent like? Do they have Force of Vigor? There's no way they're playing Force of Vigor. But yeah, Primal Command basically has a lot of modes, and a lot of those modes are currently pretty good in the format. I am going to dismember this guy though. That sucks. That sucks. My opponent has it again. Yeah, that really sucks. Okay, my opponent's draw was just not beatable. Acid Moss. So my opponent was basically playing Ponza from like 2 years ago. Like actual Ponza, the unplayable Ponza, but actually the unplayable Ponza has a better matchup against AmuLIT than we do the normal Ponza, which is bad, like the good Ponza, which sucks a little bit for us. But yeah, this list seems actually pretty good. I have been liking it. Obviously, we got paired. Like, we just got paired against just a bunch of miserable matchups. We faced Ad Nauseam, Ponza from, like, 2018, Mono Red Prison twice. Like, the matchups that we faced were not representative. Ahí terminó. Ahí bajo. Gracias. The matchups that we faced were not representative of the modern format whatsoever. So, I don't think that we got any reasonable or interesting testing going on. We also mulliganed a lot in this second league. Somehow we managed to go 2-3, even though we mulliganed like a lot. Maybe this is a moon meta. I don't think so. I don't think it's a moon meta game, but like leagues, like not in competitive events, I guess is the correct way of saying that. But yeah, it's brutal that we just got paired against the deck that is literally unplayable. Like, there's an actual good version of the deck that you're playing. Why are you willingly choosing to play a strictly worse version of your deck? Anyway, changes. I don't think there's that many. If I had to play an event with AmuLIT, I would probably play something like this. I don't think I would play an event with AmuLIT though. Like, I think I am still pretty firmly in the Green-White Titan camp. But this list actually seems pretty good. Like, I have liked the stuff that was going on. And if you're playing properly, which I wasn't today, like I made some mistakes against Ad Nauseam, and I basically lost a one game against the blue-green control deck in the first league. But yeah, this list is pretty good. Maybe we could cut one of the explosives. There are a bunch of matchups where I would like to have access to the first explosives, but not the second one. We didn't get paired against too many aggro decks either. But yeah, I mean, I recommend this list. Just make sure that you get paired against better matchups than I did today. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this league. We'll be back tomorrow, so yeah, definitely expect some more content. Thank you for checking out the stream, and have an amazing rest of the day. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.